Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So today I'm going to be doing another page in my volume of the dolls. This time I've dug out what I'm going to call Edgar with his little trumpet, and we have the two little girls which I'm going to call Jemima and Hannah, for no other reason than it just popped into my head. So we've got two little girls that look like they're dancing and one who looks like he may just be giving them some music to dance to. So perfect little companions to put in this double page spread. So before I do anything, I need to prepare my pages. I've just clipped them open just to get them to lie a little bit flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some white gesso, just give that a little bit of a shake up, get rid of those dry bits, they always seem to flake off. There we go. Right, but before I paint any gesso down here, I want to add in some washi tape. Okay, so I've pulled out, I'm going to do it, the previous page I did was like a warm palette. I'm going to do a bit of a colder, bluer palette on this one. So I've got some washi tape that I'm going to just add some bits into the background to give it a little bit of interest. If you can find the end, that is, that looks like it might be there. There you go. Yeah, it's one of those type of washi tapes, I think. Wound so tight it's going to be really difficult to unpeel it. Get rid of that. Oh, I waste so much time. Right. So this has actually got some clear bits in it, this washi tape. I think this is a Tim Holtz one, I'm not really sure. So I'm going to put some pieces just towards the bottom, not that one. And I've also got some music paper, so some music sheets. So what I need now is some matte medium as well. Just add, so we've got a blockage in there. It always happens with this stuff. You get like a plug forming in the nozzle. I was going to say a spout. It's not really a spout though, is it? There we go. So we've got some little bit of matte medium. So I'm going to stick that down there. Take a little bit of that. This is Indigo Blue Slappy Tom, which is a matte. Just like any other kind of matte medium. So I'm going to add a little bit of that there. Because it's going to soak into this page really, really quickly. So get some of that down on there. And I want to add a little bit as well at this side. Break up this big white clear expanse. So just add a little bit down there for when our girls start dancing. But also I want to add some of that washi tape. And it doesn't matter about sticking washi tape down at the same time you're using the matte medium. Let's bring in some other bits. Yeah, do as you're told. It doesn't matter if it goes a little bit off kilter. Yeah. Just go over the top, try not to get any of the glue on the page. So we'll have a little bit of that cross in there as well, just because. And then I've got some numbers, just clear. I'll add a little bit of that down there. And then I'm going to add just a couple of small pieces just up top as well. So some of this will get obscured by what I want to do, but that's fine. I just want a little bit of interest up top. I'll just go over that with a little bit of that matte medium just to kind of seal it in place. And maybe just another little piece of music just to kind of overlap. And then again, another little piece towards the top. And then I'm going to add just another little piece of washi just there. And I think that will do. So just adding little pieces like that into the background adds some interest onto the page. I hope we can reintroduce some more of that washi later if we feel the need. I think that for now will do. I'll just give that a wipe. I just wipe the underside of the book as well, just in case I've got any on. There we go. Just dry that. Okay, so I just need to give that a quick blast, just to get it all dry. I didn't need to get that gesso out just yet, did I? Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so also I've got, as well as the gesso, I've got the Indian turquoise, so a little bit of Indian turquoise from the Deco Art. So I'll just give it a bit of a shake up, just pop the lid, and I just want a small amount just on my craft mat. Then I'm going to pick up the gesso and then just have a little bit of that blue just on the corner, and then I'm going to go over the page. Just introducing a little bit of that blue, just tiny bits, just so it's not stark white. And I'm not going to go right up to the edges either. So I'm going to flip the page of the book around. Get a little bit of blue in there. So just to vary background colour, so it's not just all one colour, but it's also, there's no kind of like one predominant colour in the background. I think I'm happy with that. So we'll put the gesso away, get that dried, get this cleaned up, and then I'll be back. Okay, now that's kind of dried, you can still see the washi tape underneath the gesso, which is cool, but I want to add in some dark tones. So I'm bringing in another blue. This time we've got desert turquoise. And I'm just going to, a little bit of that. And again, with the brayer, I'm just going to go just a little bit of texture onto that background. Excellent. Like that. So again, get it dried off. Okay, so that is now dry enough to use. I want some sponge. What did I do with my scissors? Need to have a tidy up. I'm burying things on my desk at the moment. Oh, there we go. So I just want to cut a piece of sponge. That's going to do it. Those two pieces. I'll put the rest away. Right, so this is a stencil. I think it's from Indigo Blue. I'm not even sure what it's called. I just like the random kind of cells that you kind of get with that effect. So I want to bring that in, and I'm going to bring back that Indian turquoise colour, that other blue colour we used earlier on in the background, and just introduce that in a couple of places around the page. So I'll just load the sponge up, and then start adding in a little bit of interest, more interest. The idea is to kind of create a grungy background without it being too heavy. And I'm using the same kind of colour palette, the blue, or a cool colour palette, right the way through. And I will introduce probably a little bit of green towards the end. So let's have that about here. And and you can go heavy or light, it's entirely up to you. Just create a little bit of interest in that background. So I'll put that stencil to one side, and then I've got another one which is like circles. This is another indigo blue one. They very seldom name the stencils. I'm not even sure whether this one's on the website yet because, you know, like everybody, they get a bit busy and sometimes forget to put things on the website. So I've got this one. So I want to introduce that greenish kind of colour into this one now. So this is teal mint. Now this will just warm up the page slightly because you've got a real nice cool kind of background. This green, almost bluey green, will kind of help to warm the background up a little bit. We'll just feed some of that colour in there. And then we'll do a little bit in the middle. I'll try and do both sides. I do need to get that wobbly table sorted. Like that. And then I'm going to do some more so it comes kind of like through the middle of the page, just up here on the top. Right across that corner. So that just adds a little bit more dimension to it. Okay. Okay, so that background is pretty much dry now, so I want to add a little bit more of that music paper just onto the page there. So I'm just going to grab my brush and just give the page a quick once over, add the music sheet back down, and just add a little bit more just there, just to kind of break that line up a little bit, and then do the same thing across here. Like so, and then I've got a small piece, or a couple of small pieces, that I also want to just feed in across the top of the page, up here. And then again, just a little bit over here. Don't really mind if I get it upside down, because it's not really the focal. It's not pivotal or anything like that. Is it upside down? I don't know whether it's upside down or not, but even so. I've got a little scrap just there, which I think I might just add in. Only because it just looks like it's fallen off. Okay, I think, is that it? There's no more bits of music paper lying around. No, I think I've pretty much got everything. So I'll dry that off and we can start introducing our characters into the page now. Okay, so that's all dried down. So I want to add my little character about there. So again, I'm just going to use the same glue stick, or the same glue that I did on the previous pages. Now on this one, I have gone around the edges with a distress marker, just to get rid of those white edges. So he's going to go about there. So that's going to need to be held down with a little bit of weight just for it to hold, and then I can do the two girls at this side. So I'll stick Jemima down first. Get some glue on there. Now, just to get these pages going, I have introduced multiple kind of characters. Not necessarily going to do that every time going forward in the future. I might just pick one. Crinkly pages. That's the only reason why I'm holding these down. Okay, so I will make sure these are stuck, and then I'll be back once they've glued themselves or adhered themselves to the page, and try not to get any bits that have peeled up. Okay, so they're pretty much stuck down onto the page now, and because I had some matte medium left over on there, I just went over the top of the characters just to try and start to get rid of some of that shine on the characters. It's not got rid of a lot, so I probably will have to go back over it with some white gesso later just to get rid of. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start introducing some more elements onto the page now. So to tie this in with the Mission Inspiration mid-month mini Mission Inspiration, I'll put, because it's December, it's December the 21st today, the last Saturday before Christmas, I'm going to tie this in with the mid-month. So for December, I'll put on the screen now what the prompt is, the song lyric prompt, which is from a Christmas song called Can You Hear What I Hear, written in the 1960s. So I'm going to introduce here some large stars. Now I've cut these out, drawn them out by hand, and I've cut them out of corrugated cardboard. And I'm just going to add some glue to the back. And I've put the large one, which is the one that has the tail like a kite, which I'm going to stick down there, and I've cut two smaller ones, again out of the same material, that I'm going to put up there in the top. So again, just put some glue down. Because they've got points, they're very difficult to hold on to. Alright, I'll make sure I've got glue there. Add that one about there. And this one. And put that one there. So again, as with all art journal pages, it's 5% doing, 95% drying time. So we just have to make sure that they're stuck before I carry on. So I'll give that a couple of minutes just to bond, and then I'll be back. Okay, those stars are, well, they're not 100% dry, but they are stuck down enough for me to carry on working with the page. So what I need to do now is just get another small brush. Doesn't have to be a large one. that will do. This is one of the Ranger ones, obviously I've not used this one before. And I've got some indigo blue vodka martini metallic silver. So I'm just going to give that a shake. There we go. I always get little bobbles dropping off. And I'm going to take some of that paint from the lid and I'm just going to go over the star. I know I could have done this before I stuck it down, but I didn't actually want to. I wanted to make sure that I got left some of that brown kind of corrugated colour showing through. I just want a top coat really of the silver paint. Now the reason I wanted to leave the brown is because it kind of ties in with the colour of the characters, the sepia kind of tone of the characters. So you're bringing in tones that are complementary to them into your background. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, it's just a hint. Okay, so I've done that one. So I've got a nice little metallic shine on there. And then just catch the tops, almost dry brush, but not quite. Over the top. Because we've used a cool palette, this is the reason why I've used silver rather than gold. If we'd have used warm colours, reds, yellows, oranges, that kind of thing in the background, I probably would have gone with a gold paint on the star rather than a silver. A bit of a metallic sheen on there. But we still get the warmth of the cardboard showing through. Like it. Okay, so I need to get that dried off. And then I'll be back. Okay, so my stars, my shining stars. There we go. Shining stars go by. That's another line from a Christmas song, I believe. Anyway, so I'm also now just going to take some of that Stabilo oil and I'm just going to put a little bit at the bottom here just to create a little bit of grounding for the character. Even though you've got that music paper there, just want to add a little bit extra. So the Stabilo oil pencil obviously is water soluble, so just grab a tiny bit of water and then just activate the paint underneath, and you can just work it just turn that around, so that's a little bit too much. There we go, better. And then we'll work it down the girls, maybe even just across the page to kind of join them. Might just be a little bit too much. Where's my kitchen roll? There. So of course you can blot. But that just creates that little bit of ground for you to work with. And that will be kind of subtle, and you can just use that if you want to, just to add a little bit of shadow, use up the excess. Just add a bit of subtle shade into it. Go. Similar sort of thing we did on the previous page. Just subtle shadow. Okay, like that. Again, need to get that dried off. And then we're going to add our last finishing touches. So, we're pretty much dry, so we've got a nice little bit of shine on those stars, which is acceptable. I don't mind having shine on stars, but I don't like having shine on my characters. I just want to add a little bit of darkness back into the background now. So instead of using black gesso to create some marks, I'm actually going to use Stays On. And I want just a little round lid from something. Now then, what about, will that do? Let's see how much ink we can pick up. Just to add some just little random black marks. So there's not really anything coming up on that, is there? That might be because of the circle, or it might be because of the ink pad. Alright, so I might have to use paint after all. Let's use the lid. From that, grab my gesso, and then just grab some. That's a bit better. Just a little bit of random mark making. Now the reason I'm doing that, adding the black into the background, is because you've got the black in the writing, in the music, but you've also got the black tones in the girls and obviously Edgar, but there's also a bit showing through from the background and down here at the bottom, so it just helps to balance the top with the bottom. If you have just a little bit, that's why I'm not really pressing that heavy. That should do. And then of course, just to kind of finish off, take some of that black gesso. Bearing in mind I've not added my little quote yet, so yeah, that'll do. Again, just subtle, doesn't need a lot. Just clean that up. I'll get it dried off, and I'll be back to add my little quote for the page. Okay, so the black splatters are all kind of dried now, and it's time to add my little quote for the page. Now, I couldn't find anything in my chit chat stickers that I thought was kind of appropriate for the girls dancing and that kind of thing. So instead, I printed one out using my Dymo letter set. Letter set? Dymo letter tag. Letter set. Dymo letter tag label maker. So this is one I've had for absolutely donkeys. Used it a lot in the early years of me doing art journaling, but not so much these days. printed stuff out because I can't change the font on the machine. So what I've done is I've printed off a little phrase which is kind of familiar to a lot of people, and I'm just going to stick that down onto the page there. And I've used just a small text size, so dance like no one is watching. There you go. Like that a lot. But then again I would, because I'm biased, seeing as I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sign it down here and put today's date, 21st. There we go. And I think I'm going to call this page done. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this double page spread in my art journal. So that's page number 2. So number 1, number 2, we'll definitely get those paper dolls used up by the time we get to the end of this altered book. So like I said, hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.